Hi, I'm Hyundai the Dietitian, and welcome to Healthy Made Simple, where I show you how to make healthy eating simple. In this video, I'm going to be sharing low sugar drinks that are my go-to drinks that I like to make on a regular basis at home. Now, I've always been the kind of person that likes to drink their calories, even though I know we shouldn't, and I love specialty coffee drinks, tea drinks, juices, smoothies, and I used to go out and buy these from different types of shops, but over time, I've learned that number one, no matter how much you try to make a healthier choice buying these drinks from a shop, you're going to get something that's going to be higher in sugar. And number two, these types of drinks have gotten quite expensive. I'm having trouble paying, $6, $7 for a small drink that I know I can make at home, and I can make a healthier version at home that's also going to be more affordable as well. So I've really been on this track to try to find ways that I can make drinks at home that I enjoy drinking, that are going to, number one, help me cut back on sugar, and number two, help me stay hydrated as well. I do like drinking water, but I do get tired of plain water, as I think we all do. So I do like to find ways to switch it up and make things at home that are going to be enjoyable for me, that are going to be hydrating, and not add too much sugar to my diet. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing a couple drinks like that. The first one I'm going to share is going to be how I like to make a mocha latte at home. And it's actually going to have a little bit of protein without having to use protein powder. So I'll show you how I make that. And I'm also going to show you how I like to make a spa water at home that's going to help kind of switch up water for me and help me stay hydrated throughout the day. And lastly, I'm going to share my tips and tricks for making smoothies at home. Now, I've done a video on smoothies in the past, so I'm not going to show you how to make a smoothie with this one. I think we all pretty much know how to make a smoothie, but I'm going to share the tips and tricks that I like to use to make making smoothies at home way more convenient and easier to do, including how I like to make them in a batch. So if you're interested, stay tuned to see how I like to make these low sugar drinks at home that you can incorporate into your daily routine as well. Alrighty, let's go. Now for my mocha lattes that I like to make at home, these are the two main ingredients that I use for adding flavor, a little bit of creaminess, and sugar to it. Now the first is going to be the Silk Protein Almond Milk, and this is the chocolate version that I use, and that's what gives it that kind of mocha flavor. And I also use this vanilla almond milk creamer as well from Silk. Now, I like this combination a lot to create that mocha flavor without adding too much sugar, and I love that I get extra protein from the milk in this, since this is a higher protein milk. Now, if you don't want to go out and buy a big thing of chocolate milk like this, you can always do the regular version as well. I do keep the regular version at home. This is the regular, just I believe it's not even vanilla, it's just original protein for Silk almond milk. You can use this, or you can use any other milk of your choice that's going to be a higher protein option. And if you're using something like this and you want to add a little bit of that mocha chocolatey flavor, you can always use a chocolate syrup. This is the one I keep at home. Now, I wouldn't say this is a healthy chocolate syrup or anything like that, but when you're making it at home, you get to control how much goes into the drink. So you can do a smaller drizzle to help cut back on sugar, but you can do this combination instead if you don't want to buy a whole chocolate milk for this. So what I like to do is I like to start by pouring these two into my cup and then using my milk frother to froth them up. And this is my milk frother. I can include a link for this down below if you're interested, but I just bought whatever was affordable off of Amazon when I purchased this. And this is a really inexpensive tool, especially if you're trying to make more coffee drinks at home. This kind of adds a little bit more pizzazz and that frothiness to your drink without having to go and buy a Starbucks drink. You can easily make any drink at home, any coffee drink at home using this, and it really adds this extra layer of fun and excitingness to it that helps kind of satisfy that specialty coffee drink that you're looking for, but it's so much more affordable to buy something like this for home. And this also works great if you're ever using protein powders, like if you're trying to mix a protein powder into a drink, this works really well for that purpose too. So I do use this pretty much on a regular basis, and it's been a great addition to my kitchen. So check something out like this if you're trying to make more drinks at home. So let's get started by pouring our milk and our creamer in there and frothing it up. All right, I have my coffee mug here. So I'm going to start by pouring some chocolate milk in. And the amount that you're going to pour in is really going to depend on the size of your cup, or however much you like on there. That's right around how much milk I put in. And then I'm also going to add in some of that creamer on top to help froth it up. And this almond milk creamer, there's a lot of different flavors to it. There's vanilla, I believe sweet cream, caramel. They're all good. So if you're looking for a dairy-free creamer, I really, really like this one, the taste of it. And I'm just going to put just a touch more in. So I've got right around that much liquid in my cup, and now I'm going to froth it up with my frother. And here it is. Once I frothed it up, you can see it got a lot taller in there with all that milk froth in. Next, this is going to go to my Keurig to brew some coffee right on top. Here is my Keurig. Now, I have a really old Keurig that I've had for maybe like 8 or 9 years at this point. And it still works. You can use any method that you like to use for brewing coffee at home for this. It absolutely does not need to be a Keurig, but any type of brewed coffee at home will work. So I'll brew that right on top of that frothed milk. And here's a look at that coffee that I just brewed with my frothy milk on top that just filled my cup right up to the brim. Looks delicious. And there we go, a really simple, healthy way of making a mocha latte at home that's going to save you time from going to the coffee shop. It's definitely going to save you money, and it's going to help you cut back on sugar. So try this if you're looking to make some healthier versions of coffee drinks at home. All right, next, let's make some spa water. Now, if you're not familiar with the term spa water, it's just basically water with some fruits and veggies cut up into it. I believe it's called spa water because you would typically see it at a spa. If you've ever been to a spa, they usually have those big jugs with some like cucumbers and lemons in there that you can drink from. So that's how I've heard it being referred to in the past. So I call it spa water as well. Now, I like doing this in this jar. I got these from Amazon, and I'll include a link for this down below too. I like making it in this on the days that I'm going to be home all day if I'm working from home so that I can keep refilling this cup. But you can also make this in your to-go water bottle as well in the morning and then just refill it throughout the day. And what I like to add to my spa water is going to be an orange. And I'm not going to use the whole orange, just part of the orange. Lemon, cucumber, and this is a giant English cucumber that I got from the store. You can also use like smaller cucumbers, Persian cucumbers, or cocktail cucumbers. If you're using a small one, I still suggest that you cut it up though so you get that cucumber flavor inside, because otherwise you're just going to have the peel just sitting in there and the flavor may not penetrate as well. And lastly, I'm also going to add a little bit of chia seeds in this to add some more fiber to the drink. Now, I've seen basil seeds added before. I've never seen basil seeds at the store, but I've had basil seeds in my drinks, and that tastes pretty good. So if you find that, you can use that too, or any other seed you want to try in there. I'd probably avoid like flax seeds or hemp seeds. I can't imagine that tasting good, but something like chia seeds or basil seeds would work well for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut up some small chunks of my lemon and my orange and some slices of cucumber as well. And then I'm going to put those into my cup. Now you can slice these too. I am just too lazy to go slicing and then have like a half cut lemon in a funny way. So I'm going to actually cut out some chunks of this so that I can use the rest of the lemon for next time too. So I've got about a quarter of a lemon that I am cutting into little chunks right around that size. And I like to keep them small so I can kind of keep mushing them down throughout the day and they keep releasing that flavor. All right, I'm gonna grab my cup and put all my ingredients in there as I go through. So I'm gonna start with my lemon. So that's about 1/4 of a lemon that I'm gonna put in. And then next I'll move on to my orange. All right, I've got 1/4 of an orange here that I'm going to slice up in the same way that I sliced up my lemons. All right, in go the oranges next. And then lastly, I'm going to slice up my cucumber. And for this, I'm doing 3 slices, and I'm going to cut these slices in half as well so that they're not giant chunks in there. And when I actually finish drinking this water at the end of the day, I do end up eating all the fruit and vegetables that are in here, so nothing goes to waste. That is, of course, if my little one doesn't steal it all first. Sometimes he comes in and grabs all of it before I can eat it myself, but it is all still edible at the end of the day, so you can still eat everything that's in here, and it just adds a little bit of extra fruits and vegetables for you too. All right, so I got all my fruits and veggies in there. Next, I'm gonna go in with 1/4 teaspoon of chia seed. All right, I've got 1/4 teaspoon of chia seed going in. Now, if you don't like the taste of chia seeds in your water, you can absolutely skip this step if you want to. It really does not taste like much, but you do get the little bits of chia seed in there. So if that texture is bothersome to you, feel free to skip this and it would just be fine with the fruits and veggies in. But I do like adding that in for some extra fiber that I can consume throughout the day. So here we go. We got all of our ingredients in there. We got our lemon, our orange, cucumbers, and some chia seeds. And I'm just going to fill this up with some water on top. All right, there we go. There is everything with my water added in. And I do refill this throughout the day. And every time I refill it, I use my straw to kind of mash them all up so that they can release the flavors in there. And I get that flavor of the cucumber, the oranges, and the lemons. And you will see the fibers from the fruits and vegetables releasing into your water as well. So it adds a really nice flavor. And you can keep refilling this all day. And if you have to, go out somewhere, you can stick it in the fridge, refill it later. And again, if you're using a to-go water bottle, you can easily do this in there as well, and it'll work just as well. So once I've got things kind of mashed down a little bit, I'm going to put the lid on top of my drink. And there we go. A nice, healthy spa water that I can sip on throughout the day. All right, lastly, I'm going to share with you my tips and tricks for making smoothies at home. Now, making smoothies does seem like an easy process. Typically what you're doing is putting in some fruit and other ingredients into a blender. It's a great way of making a healthy snack because you can use frozen fruit. You can put leafy greens in there. You can add in seeds or nut butters to add in extra protein. You can even add in some protein powder in there too to make it a higher protein snack. Now, even though it's a simple process of just throwing everything into a blender and blending it up, if you're short on time, it may not be feasible for you. So what we like to do in our home, instead of having to make smoothies every day, is we make them in batches and we freeze them. So this is what the cup looks like without anything in it. I got these from Amazon. I'll include a link for this down below as well. But what we do is just make a big batch of smoothies at a time, portion them out like this, put them in the freezer, and then just defrost it each day that we want to use it. And in terms of defrosting, what I typically like to do is if we're going to have it in the afternoon, I'll stick this in the fridge. So take it out of the freezer and put it in the fridge so that it can start defrosting throughout the day. And then usually by the time we're home in the afternoon, if I put it in some warm water in a bowl with some warm water in there, just for a couple minutes, it'll start defrosting very well, and then it'll become a nice consistency. But this works really well if you like drinking smoothies, but you don't have the time to make them every day. You can easily make them like this, put them in something that's going to be freezer safe so it doesn't shatter or anything like that in the freezer, and then you'll be good to go each day. Now, the other trick that I've learned, and this surprisingly works really well, is that we always like to add in leafy greens to our smoothies. And typically what I buy is that Power Greens mix that you would see. It's like a tub of Power Greens. And what ends up happening is that we end up wasting a lot of it because we just don't go through it quickly enough. That's not something we typically eat outside of making smoothies. But one trick that I've seen online that actually works is getting a bag of spinach. So this was just a regular bag of spinach. This one's from Trader Joe's, just baby spinach. It was fresh baby spinach. And I literally just stuck this as is into the freezer. Didn't do anything else with it, just put it in the freezer. And what ends up happening is these leaves actually freeze separately. They don't clump up together. And I'll show you a couple of them. You can kind of see what they look like. They actually freeze really, really well, and this makes it so easy to put them into smoothies. It's kind of crazy, and we don't end up wasting anything because they stay just fine in the freezer. So we can go through the entire bag without having any food wasted. So if you like putting leafy greens like that into your smoothie, try a bag of spinach like this. Now, I haven't tried this with Power Greens mix. I'm not sure how it would turn out. The tip that I saw online said to use the baby spinach or spinach in general, so that's what I've used it with. So if you end up trying it with something else that's a leafy green, let me know if it works, but I know for a fact the baby spinach trick works. So keep these in your freezer to make smoothies easily at home that you can add some greens to help increase the nutrition value. Alrighty, that's all my tips and tricks when it comes to making low sugar drinks at home. My goal is always to inspire you to make healthy eating easier and simpler for yourself. My goal is not to show you exactly what to do, but to really give you inspiration so that you can take the tips and tricks I'm giving you and apply it in a way that's going to work for you and your family at home. Thank you so much for following Healthy Made Simple. If you have not already done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for my future videos. If you are interested in an alcoholic version of this, where you want me to do some low sugar alcoholic drinks you can make at home that are going to be like alternatives to cocktails or drinks that you would buy at bars or restaurants, let me know in the comments down below and I'd be happy to make a video like that. And if you have any other suggestions as well, make sure to include them down below. I read all of my comments and I respond to all of my comments as well. So I'm always open to suggestions. I want to give you ideas that I know are going to be helpful for you and your family. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.